Hello, everyone. Wanted to do a review video for the third exam. Again, this is just me describing what sort of answers I was looking for. And again, it's up to you to compare the sort of answers that you had with what I describe. And if there's any sort of question, I know you don't have access to the exams. So if there's any sort of question, if you felt like you did answer the question properly according to the way that I describe, then please contact me. Or if you have any questions or puzzlement about the exam, please contact me and we'll go over your exam in detail. I still have them. Number one, what does it mean for something to be self evident? The key here is that it's a self evident truth. And the idea of a self evidence is that it doesn't need proof. That is, a self evident truth is one whose truth is obvious or necessary, so that once we hear it articulated, we also understand it to be true, and we don't require proof. It's a self evident truth. Obviously, a reference to the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self evident, that all men are created equal, etc. Number two, what does it mean for something to be unalienable? Again, a reference to the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self evident, that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. The idea of something being unalienable is it cannot be taken away, it cannot be given away. One cannot be separated from this right in any respect. So these rights cannot be taken away, cannot be sold, cannot be given away. They are ours as individuals and they are ours forever. Number three, how does Madison define a faction? This is really two aspects that are necessary. So there's a lot of half credit for this question. A faction is a group of individuals who are united by a common interest or passion. But crucially, to be a faction, that the pursuit of that interest or passion on the part of these united individuals has to be adverse to the rights of other citizens. That's key. So just being united by some sort of interest or even passion does not qualify the group as a faction unless the pursuit of that interest is adverse to the rights of other citizens or harmful to others or some way or another. So really there's two parts to that question. Number four, how does Madison propose to deal with the problem of faction? The key here is the republic, the representative democracy. He talks about ways to deal with faction that he doesn't think are good, which is to remove its causes, either through denying people their liberty or some sort of impossible making everyone think the same. So the key here is the republic, which he feels will deal with the effects of faction, moderate the effects of faction without doing away with them. Now, exactly how a republic is to do that, I didn't require that in the question because I don't think that's clear from, at least to me, from the reading. But the key is a representative democracy, a republic, rather than a direct democracy, to moderate the effects of faction. That's what I was looking for. Number five, what is the meaning of cannibalism in Fitzhughes' argument? Fitzhughes' idea is that people with capital live off the labor of other people. That is, if you own a factory, you are enriching yourself off of someone else's labor. If you own even stocks and bonds and gain interest on them, you are living off the labor of others. So cannibalism is a metaphor. Of course, literally a cannibal is someone who eats the flesh of other human beings. But this sort of cannibalism is the cannibalism of labor, where we live off of other people, not directly through eating their flesh, but enriching ourselves from their work. Number six, Douglas, in What to the Slave is 4th of July, asked, do you mean citizens to mock me by asking me to speak today? What does he mean by this? I think it's pretty clear that the general meaning is that he is an African American, a black person in America. But to ask him, considering the state of the country, where millions of people live as human slaves. People like him who were born in slavery have no reason to celebrate the country. So to ask a black man to celebrate the 4th of July and celebrate America when he was a slave and had to escape from slavery, and millions of other black people are still in slavery, is almost a mockery in itself. Finally, number 7, Douglas says that there is consolation in the thought that America is young. Why does he find consolation in this? Because there's more possibility of change because the country is young. If it were older, like if it were a wide, deep river, it'd be hard to change its course. But because it's young and it's still smaller body of water, if you use the metaphor, like a creek, it's easier to change its course. And of course, he means slavery. He may mean other things too, in terms of things that have gone wrong, things that are bad about the country. But he's definitely talking about slavery there. It's because America is young. It still has time to change its course. It won't be so difficult as if it were an older nation. So again, that's what I had in mind for the answers to the exam. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me.